Hi all. Right, back with more Any Action Kharkov. So take two part 45. And it is 45, I just went and looked. Just uploading 44 just now. So just not long came back, to be honest. So hand the cards sitting there. We should be able to get right into this. We've decided that we're doing it in this order. So are you going to stick by your word, Grant? Well, yeah, surprisingly I am this time. So mobile group pop of units card. So activate 2 stacks. So yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. We're going to activate these 2 stacks. Now, we did lose 2 units, but these are 2 full stacks. So we're not getting all aggressive with them anymore. I need to make a space in here so I can move this guy along. So I'm activating these 2 stacks. Well, what else are you going to do then, Grant? I talked about something coming in here beside this, maybe just to strengthen that. And then maybe giving this guy a bit of support by moving something adjacent to him. Need to be careful with that one, I suppose. Well, that's 10 strength. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, these guys can't reach. Are they all infantry? I think they are. Yeah, yuck. Right. So they can't reach there. So if I'm going to strengthen that at all, probably makes sense to move this bottom one. The mechanized infantry here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's 2 units, 2 steps, 5 strength. Yeah, I think so. I know it might have been better having this guy, but well, why don't you do that actually, Grant? Maybe keep that with a 3-stepper, maybe. Well, I don't want to mess about too much over here. I'm probably just going to put something in there, and I think it's basically to stop, them coming in to flank this guy. So if I do it that way, to be honest, it's 8 strength, I would be moving up there. They're going to have a job going for that, aren't they? Yeah, let's do that. So change of plan then, slight change of plan. I'm going to move this guy into here. Just because it's a bit better support. There's 3 quite strong 40 core units there. And then, what about moving into the hex one? I don't know, there's a downside to that, isn't there? I think I can only retreat 1 hex, maybe, I want to say, because the unit's dispersed. Yeah, dispersed unit can't move, attack, or build an improved position. Can't advance after combat. Not quite. Yeah. No. Yeah, forget. It's not eligible for the strategic relocation event. And then a dispersed unit and any unit stat with it may retreat only 1 hex if attacked. It's quite a bit of a temptation here to stack with it. Now can I? He's only 1 step. Because, yeah, pretty strong unit. I would like to get him back. I don't know. Is it stupid to maybe just move one of them in there and then move the big 6/6 guy in here? Because there definitely is a plan to move one of the first guards units into here as well. I mean, I know that means well, to be honest, we might be leaving this city bare for a bit. Is there 2 units in there? This is 1, isn't there? Yeah, if we want to move our first guard unit up into here as well, if we were able to put units in both these hexes, then the most strength to come in and attack this would be 4, 7, 10, and it would be 10 to, if I just put the smaller guy in, it'd be 10 to 4. So 2 to 1 odds, however, he is dispersed, so see when the check, is it all dispersed? Situational strength check. See, all defending units dispersed would get a -1. If I put a non-dispersed unit in there, that won't give the -1 there. And we'd have a defender adjacent to give us a +1. You know, whereas if I stack both of them at the side, there is still a chance they might go for this. And if they carry out the action next impulse, then that's before the chance I've got of putting a unit in here. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if it's great thinking or not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a threat on that 6-6 though? Possibly. Well, again, he's got a unit adjacent. Don't think can get him surrounded. Could get him flanked, right enough. Maybe that's what I want. So what about the infantry then? 3 infantry units here. I don't know. If I leave the hex empty, I need to make sure that, because these guys can reach, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy can reach. Maybe that tells you need to leave one of the pop-off units in there then, Grant. Maybe just leave the 2 strength one. So it's exposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and he's only a 1-stepper. So no, I'm not leaving the 2 strength one. To be honest, I could swap places with that guy. It might sound a bit stupid, but just temporarily, because it looks like I'm going to use a first guard unit to go in here. That's not a bad idea, actually, Grant. So I'm going to leave that guy here, and I'm going to move these guys 1, 2, 3, and into there as well. Oh, and that'll keep the IP as well, because obviously the next turn I want to move that guy away, and if I'd left that empty it was going to drop the IP off, so that'll keep it because these units will still be in there. Okay, I'll just balance that there just now, just to make sure and I'll be able to build an IP on that as well. Oh no, hang on. No, it's a unit's activation. Did I activate more than 2 stats? No, it looks like it, they're everywhere. No, it wasn't, was it? There was 3 units here, 3 units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no, that's right. That's fine though, I think. What am I looking for? Just looking for the back of the rule book. Movement, combat, withdrawal, place 1 improved position, 15.3. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Well, not ecstatic, but yeah, you know what? It feels reasonable. So I'm going to leave that. Right, I'm turning these guys round, but I'm going to grab that IP as well. So I can place one IP now. Well, that's a town anyway, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's pretty strong. So yeah, I'm going to build an IP on this guy because he didn't move, attack, or any of that shenanigans. So put an IP marker on him. And what will be blue cube. And these guys, I'm going to put them underneath this, but however, that IP stays where it is. So that's the wee 2 strength one on there as well. That makes more sense as well, I think. And let's balance that like that. There we go. Yeah, that felt pretty reasonable. And like I say, next turn, and because I've moved them along, I can freely now move that out of there, not having to worry about it. I know it means these pop-up units are back here, but where are they heading now? They're probably going to be backing off back to these 2 cities and try and hold these victory points here, I think. What are we getting in next? Well, we've got a couple of 40 core units that are in the reserve units box. The next again day it is all 4th Panzer Army, so yeah, it's going to happen up over there, I think, next turn anyway. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm reasonably happy with that. And like I say, first guards, one along to there, one up into here. I know we had talked about one into here, but I don't think I can spare them at the moment because I want to try and help that guy out. So, right, okay. So that is our impulse over. We now only have 3 cards left, but we're just doing it 1 impulse at a time. So it means the Germans have got another 4 impulses to go, haven't they? Right. Well, let's push on and get the first of the 4 impulses going. They've about half of their deck still to go, thereabouts. Right, here we go. Eeks. Right, well, it's Kampfgruppe, but I'll tell you what, look at them all. They're all together. Oh well, okay. Well, I'm going to say just as well we did maybe do that then, but well, we're going to find out, I suppose. They will be able to get some guys the other side of them if they do go for that stack. So deploy all core reserves. No, there's none. Event air supply. I was looking for an out of supply unit, and they don't have any of them. Just double check. And 1 hex containing unsupplied German units. Place all units in full supply. Does not apply if no German units are out of supply or isolated. Well, it does not apply then, because we've none that are. So we are going to activate the 3rd core unit with the most 3rd core units in its 2 hex radius, and all those units, and all units stacked with those units. So we're getting a couple of 40 core units as well. Ouch. That's because this guy's stacked with these 2. That's right, innit? So, yeah, doesn't really matter where we plonk it. Right in the middle there, it grabs everybody. Yeah, grabs all the 3rd core unit. Well, apart from there's 2 up in the city, right enough. Did they not? Oh, was it not? It was 1st Panzer Army card that activated these the last time, wasn't it? Yeah, because the 40 core units activated 2. Yeah, it was the 1st Panzer Army card. I'm looking up the units up in the city and saying, why have they not moved down then? Or, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, everyone's going to activate there, and it does say activate the 3rd core unit with the most 3rd core with the most third corps units in its 2 hex radius, which is that, well, let's just say it's that one, and all those units, and all units stacked with those units. So we grab the 240 corps units as well. Nasty. Right, well, they were nasty the last time, so I don't know, I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. Well, you know what, it could depend on the action cards drawn, really. It's really going to come down to that, I think. Okay, alright, let's get on with it then. So, action steps 5 to 7 still. If behind Soviet lines, none of them are. No, they can all trace supply. Move to VP hex, move to non-Soviet VP hex only if empty or garrison in Soviet unit proximate. No. I mean, there's this one here that's empty, but again, we're not proximate to that, so let's move on. Oh yeah, let's draw action cards now, isn't it? Right, so I think there's only 2 left in the deck here. But remember, these just shuffle up once they're done anyway. Okay, what do we get? Well, we got 2 attack ones the last time, so maybe not this time. Ooh, oh dear. So Soviets expose and strong attack. A10 and A18, so 10 first. Strong attack. Well, let's go in on the word and have a look. So situational strength of active unit stack and other active units. So there we go. It's going to grab them all and try and get a greater than or equal to 4 times proximate Soviet unit stack. Interesting to note, it's got combat tactic engineers on it here, so we ignore IPs when we're checking situational strength. So for instance, if we were to make a check on this guy, we don't count that IP. It doesn't give a +1 because it's got engineers in the combat tactic. What is that? Why not? Let's have a browse at the action, because I get the feeling it could happen. This 4 times is a lot, mind you, but let's see. All active units proximate to qualifying target move adjacent to target and attack. Prefer target A and VP hex. So actually that's going the opposite from before, isn't it? It's looking for the VP hex before the weakest hex. So yeah, maybe that does mean that you still consider the tiebreakers within the definition of weakest, and it's just put out there because that it wants that priority first. Non-active proximate units in lead units core join attack. That could... No. I was just looking at this stack here and seeing if they were to become the lead unit, because I suppose the first thing that's jumping in my head is how you decide the lead unit based on the... Yeah, it is. It's based on the selection number, isn't it? So between these 3, and because these are both 10s and this is third core, it's a lower core number, this would become the lead unit. So it's just, if it'd been the other way about, we would have considered these 3 units maybe joining the battle, but I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that's okay. I think that would have been right. Anyway, and then if greater than or equal to 5 steps, or attacking break off combat at A2, otherwise A1. So I think that was the same as the one we had before. Right. Okay. Well, I always think these are going to take a bit of time. You've seen how the last one did, so I dare say some of you could do it far quicker than me, but I like to be very careful. So situational strength of active unit stack and other active units. Yeah, so this is different because what we had before was, what was it we used before? Was it just attack? I think it was, wasn't it? So the big difference here is, or compared to attack, was that it was the situational strength of active unit stack was greater than or equal to 2 times proximate Soviet unit stack. So we on that card you checked the lead unit and whatever it was stacked with to see if you could get 2 times. Well, this time we're checking the lead unit and its stack and all the rest of them to get the 4 times. So it's a little bit trickier, I think. I feel. Maybe not. Maybe it's just as easy to get hold of. I'm trying to put off time here. Don't know why. Okay, what have we got? We've got, which is the first unit that's going to check, become the lead unit? It's going to be this guy, isn't it? 3. We've already checked, there's a 10, a 10 and a 15 in there. So he's selector number 3. He is going to be the first lead unit involved in this check. But however, it's not just him that's going to carry out the check, it's going to be him, whoever he was stacked with, and all the other active units. So, okay, well, a priority is going to be VP hex, then weakest. So it's slightly different. Now, the only possible VP hex I think these guys could go for is this. Yeah, because we've got this in the way, so but to go for this, they would need to achieve, that's got 7 strength, right? What is the card command card value is a 2, so we can forget about adding subtracting 1 for the command card. It's not a major offensive. Right. Just having a quick glance at what adjustments might be made here. Don't think there's any for any of these guys. Remember, like I said, the IP wouldn't count anyway, so there's probably not modifications for any of these. So, but 7 strength, they need to have 4 times that. So they need to have 28 strength. So we can right away see if that's possible by counting everybody up, I suppose. 5, 7, 7, 10, 12, 15, 18, 22. So they've got 22 strength. I'm just going to set a dice to 2, right, in case I forget. So that's the most strength that they can put together. I mean, whether all these guys could get round about this or not. But I suppose it's worthwhile just looking at that and then saying, well, no, let's look elsewhere, because we need 28 strength to satisfy the situation there. We need 28 strength. So no. So the next priority would be the weakest units that they could be proximate to and achieve a 4 times attack, at least a 4 times attack. Okay, so this guy's a 6, these guys are a 4, and this guy's too much. I think he's 9 maybe. Yeah, he is 9. Like I say, the IP's ignored, so 9, but I mean 9's worse than the 7, you know. They need, 36 strength there. They need 24 there, and they only had 22. This guy, they need 4 4s, 16. So they can achieve enough strength there to attack him. They can't get through here towards him or towards him. So yeah. So this looks like their weakest target. Now, I'm not saying yet that they can achieve that amount of strength. Yeah, because we can't get them. I forgot this guy's here. We didn't. Yeah, they can't get anything in here. You know what? This might not even come to anything. So they definitely don't have enough strength for that. Don't have enough strength for that. Don't have enough strength for that. Do have enough strength for that. However, they don't have. They would need to have 16 points of strength attacking from one hex, I think, because I don't think they can get. He can't. This guy can't move from here to here because he's zone of control is zone of control. So the best that they're going to get is 4, 7, 10. Yeah. So it's going to be 10 against 4. And like I say, situationally, even though this guy underneath is dispersed, it does say all defending units dispersed. So the guy on top is not dispersed. So that doesn't give a -1 to that. And in actual fact, we've got no, I'm forgetting about defender adjacent. We've got a defender adjacent which would give a +1. So in actual fact, this is 5. So they would need 20 strength, never mind 16. So yeah, I don't think they can do this at all then. I just want to make sure though, it looks pretty confident that they can. Yeah, I was forgetting this would be classed as situational 7 strength as well, because it's got also a defender adjacent that's supplied. Well, he's a defender that's adjacent to a supplied Soviet unit. And it gives a +1. Yeah, they can't do it. It's just all a bit too congested. Now, there you go. Let's say we hadn't moved this pop-off unit into here, right? And, well, in actual fact, if we hadn't moved either of them, but this one probably is more important, because if we hadn't moved that in, then they could get something into this hex. So they could get 3 units in this hex, 3 units in that hex. So 4, 7, 10, 13... You know, actually they might not. I don't know. Well, maybe because if that unit wasn't there, I wouldn't get the +1 as well. So I don't think they can. I don't think they can activate this then. I don't think there's anybody else that they can go for. I'm still a bit scared to just jump away from it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we've got things pretty well shored up. This is 6 as well, but they can't get down to that anyway. Yeah. So they cannot achieve the situation of even them all together achieving a 4 times proximate strength, a 4 times at least strength proximate to a Soviet unit or stack. No. I'm struggling to get away here, but yeah, no. Okay. Right, so it's exposed. Well, we've been worried about that. What's happened here? What have I done? They were the last 2 cards, yeah. I've put the action deck. I was looking through the action deck discards, wasn't I? Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing in the draw deck, so I'll shuffle up once this card gets discarded. Yeah, so we've been paranoid about this card right throughout the game. So we should have our bases covered with it, like I said. So active supplied unit stack proximate to Soviet unit stack with situational strength less than 2. So a situational strength of less than 2. It's not. I mean, this is 4, but I mean situationally it's 5 because he's got an adjacent supplied Soviet unit. Yeah. And there's not one in. It's not as if there's any that somebody could go and scoot away to catch off guard. There's not, even down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy can't come away down here and affect anything that's down here. That's not happening. Okay, right. So nothing doing with the action cards. So that was a bit worrying for a moment, but it looks like we shored things up pretty well there. We stopped them even thinking about it, and if we're stopping them from actually doing it, it does mean that it would have been in our favour for them to attack, so they're choosing not to do that. Let's shuffle this action deck again. So moving on then. So that was step 4, check other drawn card, conduct its action. Step 5 is move to hex, it moves dangerous round from a German unit in hex and Soviet support, or enable supply trays from German occupied hex. Right, well we do know there's an issue in there, and that is, you know what, it might have changed as well, because we have brought up this unit. No, I don't think that does change anything, does it? So again, we've been here before. We can get into here and here, I suppose, if we need to put that one down, and then here, and well, why not, Grant? You like putting your wee cubes there. Right, which could surround this guy and this guy. The other 3 stacks are fine. Sorry, the other 4 stacks are fine. This guy's fine as well. Because this guy came down to get him out of dangerous round. So, and we're checking these and descending order. So descending order, so it's actually going to be down to this 15 on the bottom here. So let me just pop him up the top just now. So can he move to a hex that removes dangerous round from any of the guys? What ones is it? It's this one, and this one, isn't it? Well, he can't get around to this side of it. He might well be able to get maybe into one of these 2 hexes though, and that could put a stop to it. So right, okay. So 1, 2 breaking zone. Well, 1, 2 breaking zone of control. 3, 4. Or 4. So we're actually proximate to these hexes. Yeah, cubes galore now, Grant. What's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can get in there. We can go nuts and get in there. And we can even 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can go, we can go in here as well. That's not going to remove dangerous around though, is it? Oh, no. Well, actually it might. Okay. What's going on? Imagine somebody coming into the game right now and I'll watch this daft Scottish guy playing any action Kharkov. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Okay. So move to hex and moves dangerous round from German unit. Right. Can I break this down a bit? I don't know. What are the preferences? Preference A is a lowest position hex. That's not a position hex. That one's 100. That's not. That's 115. So we can move to 100, which would be the preference. Does that remove dangerous around? I'll have to move some of the cubes away to find out. I want to say it does. So before I do though, let's just check, because I don't think he wouldn't be in dangerous round them, or would he? You know what, he might. No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will, because I don't think we'll then be able to move in here. Because we will be able to move up into here behind him, but I don't think we can move into here, so I think he's always going to have an out hex, well, here and here, I think. Right, we'll take a chance and we'll go for 100. Okay, so let's just see, I've left the dark blue cubes on. These are both in dangerous round. If this unit moves round to here, which he can do, 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, okay? I'll leave that there just to say that's where he was. Is this guy in dangerous round now? I don't think so. But I've been wrong before. What's the times? Okay, so we can go in there, but now we cannot get in here. We can get here, yes. We can get here, we can even go nuts and get here, but that does not surround this guy, and for that fact as well, it doesn't. This guy's surround's broken from that guy too. How about that? And yeah, I know there's a bit that's preferences getting the most out of dangerous round, is there not? I don't see that here, but maybe that's something else. Preference as lowest numbered position hex, and we had the choice between 100 or 115, and I don't actually think 115 would have had the same effect. It might have done, but you know what, this is the lowest position hex, so that removes dangerous round from the two guys, him moving there. And remember, he was active because he was stacked with one of the 3rd Corps Kampfgruppe units. And right, so just to make sure that he's not in dangerous round, and he's not, is he? Clearly. He clearly has an out hex there. I mean, okay, I can put a unit in there, zone of control there. Zone of control there, but not zone of control there. So yeah, so he's not in dangerous round, he's not breaking any restrictions, he's doing quite a good job actually. There we go, and that's now removed both of them from dangerous round, not just one of them. Excellent. Right, okay, so where are we next then? Well, that's all the units are not in dangerous round now, eh? Yeah, just having a glance at these guys though. I think that's just infantry that I've got down here though. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't think we're. However, well, these are both 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, as well just going in there again, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into there. 1, 2, 3. So he's surroundable. Right, could that have changed that, guys? I hope not. That looked like a good move he made. Now he moved 4. He was there. He broke zone of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I had him going to there. I think that must have been cheating. That must have been, because it was breaking zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I must have forgot the breaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just the same, Grant. Even if he goes through the units. So yeah. So the furthest I could get that guy would be here or here, wouldn't it? And that would have not. That wouldn't have stopped, or would it? If that guy got to there, would that have prevented that dangerous round? It would, wouldn't it? My. Okay. Yeah, I believe it would. Right, so how do I break that one down then? Because, right, just stepping back to that unit being back in, I want to say he was there, wasn't it? No, he was stacked with that guy, Grant. That's where we're getting the extra movement. Yeah, sorry, he was there. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4. So it indeed was 4 movement to there. 5, 6. So I mean, potentially this guy can stretch out to there or there. So, but the instruction is move to hex that removes dangerous round from German unit in hex. Oh, stop. In hex in Soviet support, Grant. Bingo. This guy's outside Soviet support, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm starting to think, no, that's the inside line. No, the inside line's will be back here, Grant. He is outside the Soviet support line. We don't care about him being a dangerous around. Right, we can forget about all this. Although I was quite curious to find out what would have happened with that. Well, again, it says prefer the lowest numbered position. I mean, it's not saying, okay, if you can get two guys out of dangerous round, or 3 guys, or the most guys. There's nothing to say that. It's just the preference is lowest number position hex. So he probably would have just stayed there then. Yeah, that's why that wee cube was there, to tell you where he was. But however, this guy is out of Soviet support, so we don't actually care about him. So I don't think there's anybody else. No, there's not. He's done the job here. All is good. Move on. So step 6 would be move proximate to empty Soviet hex if not already proximate. Now I did see a way of this happening before, and I think what we need to swing across here, because it's these 2 hexes we're looking at. I know they're quite far away and probably out of range. Move proximate to empty Soviet hex. That goes in ascending order, actually. Is this mechanised? No, that's infantry. This guy, though, he's 1 hex behind, though, isn't he? Well, you'd be wanting to look at this guy first, but he's going to have a job at doing anything. This guy might. So 1, 2. Yeah, it's not, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could get to there. I'll take my eye off that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're still too far away, aren't they? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only by 2 hexes. And to be honest, he probably wouldn't have been breaking any restrictions. And what would I have done then? I'd be like panicking. I've nothing here. Would he have went away down there if he could? I think so. I mean, when it starts getting to issues about being able to trace supply, and I mean, if he takes this, I don't think they would be in supply. It's not really a concern to them. I'm not seeing it saying anything about. Hold on. Something's ringing some bell there. Hang on. Yeah, I started thinking there was maybe some restriction to movement that you could not. Again, I'm thinking back to the other game, possibly the other rules in this game, the German solo, because I think it was in the Allied solo version of Ardennes that you as a player, it was you as a player, I think, could not move an allied unit into a hex where he couldn't trace supply, something like that. And I think that's what I was trying to think of, see if there was some kind of thing that stopped that. But no, I mean, to be honest, you'd also like to think that that was in the player aid and under German movement restrictions if it wanted to stop them, didn't it? Or does it? Or does it even? Hang on. I don't think it talks about supply, does it? Maybe it does. Don't cause Soviet proximity, right. Don't cause any German unit and Soviet support to put in dangerous around, right. Not in danger. Causes surround of Soviet unit. No, it doesn't. There's no mention of supply issues. Yeah, that's kind of scary, actually. So, however, he can't quite make it, and he's, although rather than go through the rest of them, he's the closest sort of. Yeah. He's the nearest one that would maybe have a chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's actually close at that one, isn't he? So it was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because he's got to come across that, innit? The bridge is down here, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm away the wrong way. Hang on, 6 to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but I've got to actually approximate to the hex. So no. So to be honest, we don't need to check any of the other units because he's the only one you need to check. The rest are not going to be any better than that, shall we say. So that was step 6. So step 7 is move to a hex that causes surround of Soviet unit. Okay. Right then, well, we can certainly have a look at this. Okay, just as we thought there. This goes in descending order. So our next unit is actually unit number 10, but it's in descending order, right? Both of these are 10. Now I know when you're looking at them ascending, this would be the lowest corps. So does that mean I use that guy first? Hang on, I'll find it in the rule book. Okay, I found it, page 5. It's just describing units. Unit selector number. In the event that you must select from units with the same selector, possible between units in different German corps or Soviet armies, select the unit in the lower numbered corps or army. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I'm doing it in ascending or descending order. The first one I select would be from 3rd Corps. Okay, I think you know what I was trying to look at there, or maybe that's just something that happens in my mind. Okay, so we are looking at the 3rd Corps unit first, right? Maybe not. Well, we know this guy's surrounded. I don't think he can move to surround anybody. These are both infantry, by the way, so it's going to cost 2 movement to move away as well because they're in zone of control, enemy zone of control. So 1, 2, 3 down to here does not surround anything. Yeah, I'm not seeing they two doing anything. So let's move on to unit number 9. Now he's a wee bit close at the action, but it's still infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get down to there, but that doesn't surround anything. So no, going to move on again, I think. So down to number 6 here. Now he is mechanised, but he would have to break zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no. Right. This is probably the best shot, but I can't see. I can't get away around. That yes, there's a path to do it. That's a lot of hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to surround that guy. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't think any of this is happening then, is it? This guy's already surrounded. He would have been a possibility if this guy hadn't moved down before. But yeah, it's too much, because even getting round what is it? This guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, they can get in here, but that's not surrounding them. Right, stop, Grant, stop. 50 minutes, and well, it took about 5 minutes on my impulse. Well, maybe a bit more than that. Right, so we can't surround anything. Let's move on to the next step then. So that was move to hex that causes surround the Soviet unit. So step 8, if not adjacent to Soviet unit, move closer to nearest Soviet unit. We're doing this in ascending order. Right, so this is going to happen. Ascending order. Unit 3, he is adjacent to a Soviet unit, so we can cancel him out because it says if not adjacent to a Soviet unit. So he's not going to do that. Unit 4, however, is. So his nearest is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is his nearest, this stack. Move closer to nearest Soviet. So he is moving closer to him. Now the preferences are A, adjacent to the Soviet unit. Well, he can reach here, here. Yeah, I just paused it there rather than bore you with my... So they're the 4 hexes that he can reach that are going to be adjacent to his nearest Soviet unit. So then preference B is an empty or garrison position hex, and this is the one that, yeah, we need to check this. So this is not empty, this is not empty, this is not empty. Oh, bingo, there we go, that's a position hex. So that's it, we stop there. Now, and it's not interesting here, but like I say, that one happens before. Preference C is within 3 hexes of a unit in the same core, so it could end up he's moved away from his core, but that's his preference. He wants an empty position hex. So this was unit 4, wasn't it? So 1, 2, he's moved round into there, and we can take all these away for the moment anyway. They might return. Now, no restrictions broken. He's not left anybody in dangerous round. He's not moved into dangerous round himself. He's not exposed a town or city, a VP hex even. No. Right, next one is selector number 5. Now, he's not adjacent as well. So, and his closest is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's one of these 3 this time for him. And it doesn't differentiate between the 3, so we've now got to look for, can he get adjacent to one of them? Well, yes, he can. He can get adjacent to all 3 of them. Can he get adjacent and find an empty position hex or a garrison? Don't think he can get to this, can he? This is only empty position hex and he can't get to that. No. So, no. Right? Rather than put cubes everywhere, I'll try and avoid it this time. So, yeah, because we know he can get adjacent. Yeah, so we've got to achieve that now. I started thinking, well, can I hold back here and find... No, I can get adjacent, so I will do that. Unless a preference stops me for some reason. Right. And then within 3 hexes of unit in the same core, well, I don't think there's going to be a problem there. Whether he goes here, I said he can't get in here. Any of these, then he's always going to be within 3. We can check that just to, and then D is closest to nearest Soviet unit. Yeah, and I forgot about my 10.54, didn't I? Yeah, I wish that was on the parade somewhere. I think it's quite important that. I mean, the fact it says the following preferences apply to all moves in which a German unit is moving to a hex adjacent to a Soviet unit from a hex not adjacent to that Soviet unit, and take priority over instructions in a given action. I think that's quite important if you miss that one, or like I've just done. So I want to just stop a minute and look back on unit. Unit 3 was already adjacent, wasn't he? Yeah, we don't need to check. Well, hold on. There is a part that says already adjacent during it's just an attack action. No, okay, so this is a movement, that's fine, right? So if we were about to attack, this guy might go out and in to get this guy surrounded or flanked or something. Right. So preferences here are, and so what have we moved? It's only 4 that were moved with this procedure, and he was in there, I think. To be honest, he's moved into an empty hex, so prefer A, a hex that would cause the Soviet unit to become surrounded. Well, the Soviet unit's already surrounded, so no need. B, a hex not adjacent to a German unit adjacent to the same Soviet unit. And this is the one with slight issues with. I had this and this were options, weren't they? And all, well, you know what, and there, I think something needs to be done about this. I haven't had any more reply to this, to be honest, just Tom yesterday. I thought Martin might have said something, but I think it's there for maybe John to look at, really. I think Martin can only maybe suggest what he thinks about that. Maybe not. Maybe he's not noticed that. I'm pretty sure it's something that John needs to address. So, because was he in there? I think so. Give a sec. Yeah, so it was in 2107. So at the number 4. Yeah, okay. I double checked. So here we are. Now, bearing in mind the words that I just read to you earlier there, that the following preferences apply to all moves in which a German unit is moving to a hex adjacent to a Soviet unit from a hex not adjacent to that Soviet unit, and take priority over instructions in a given action. So the action told us that it wants to prefer adjacent to the Soviet unit and then an empty position hex, right? So we looked adjacent to a Soviet unit was all these 4 hexes, empty position hex. So this is what he would prioritize, and I don't need to read any further because there's only 1 position hex, so that's why I move him to here. Now the following conditions, preferences after that are within 3 hexes of a unit same core and closest to nearest Soviet unit, but we shouldn't even need to get to them because there's only 1 position hex adjacent to the Soviet unit that's empty. Okay, we've got it. However, if we look at these priorities 10.54, which takes priority over these instructions that I've just read. So let's just ignore that and let's just say, it's the unit has to be moving adjacent, so it's got to hit a hex adjacent to the unit, because that's what 10.54 is all about, movement adjacent to Soviet unit. So we can't sort of say, oh well, he's got to be adjacent. So that's priority before even priority 1. But preference A as a hex that would cause the Soviet unit to become surrounded. Okay, so we can't do that. This unit is already surrounded. We can't do that. Preference B as a hex not adjacent to a German unit adjacent to the same Soviet unit. So that actually tells me, right, that this is the hex that unit would go to. And that's why there's a problem here. Or if it's not a problem, I need to know if it's if that's right. Because if this guy goes here, he's 4 options, right? Hang on, I've still got the 4 blue cubes. I know it's. You maybe know. I know. We know what you're saying, Grant. Just get on with it. I know. But I want to be sure myself, right? There's these 4 options that are adjacent to that Soviet unit that can reach, right? And we're not looking at the preferences in the action step because we're prioritising 10.54's preferences. We can't surround them. Okay, a hex not adjacent to a German unit adjacent to the same Soviet unit. If we move into this hex, we are adjacent to a German unit that's adjacent to the same Soviet unit. If we move into this hex, we're adjacent to a German unit that's adjacent to the same Soviet unit. And I'll not go over it again, but that's the same with that hex, right? The only hex that qualifies here is that one. Because if we move into that hex, we are not adjacent to a German unit adjacent to the same Soviet unit. And this is, I think, I don't know, I mean, maybe that's, they wanted that, maybe they want that. It feels strange, it wants this empty hex, I mean, it probably wants this empty hex, but can't quite get around to that, but this is an empty hex. But the rules say that the preference should be that it doesn't want to be adjacent, and that's why I think the wording should be not in or adjacent to a German unit that's adjacent to the same Soviet unit. But maybe they don't want it that way. But I've not had any more reply to that, so I don't know what to do. Because to me, going by the rules, he should join this guy in here. Is it a big deal in this situation? Maybe not, but I'd still prefer to know what was right. Well, if you read the rule book, Grant, that is right. Unless I'm reading something wrong, but the impression I got from Tom was that he had always played it the other way, that you would go to an empty hex. I'm pretty sure in Ardennes you wouldn't have done that. You would have went to this hex. And I mean, the preference after that, like we say, C is an empty hex. But because B comes before it, then this empty hex isn't valid because it's adjacent to a German unit. Okay. So what do we do here then? Well, I don't want to stop. I'm having fun here. So, I don't know. Well, we did follow it the last time in the attack that these guys made, and then that I think that was the bit that really sprung it home to me, was the fact that if we had only had 3 units involved, and I know I'm repeating myself here, if we had only had 3 units, they would not have spread out around the unit, they would have just stacked all in the one hex because of that preference. Which, that can't be right, so. But I can't just sort of say, until I hear otherwise, the rule is written, would put it in here. Well, until I do get some confirmation of otherwise, all I can do is follow what the rule book's saying. I do think it's wrong. I do think that something's been missed out there. But however, we will go with this now. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of into here, he's going in here. And we will try and adjust it if we get word before things change. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. Well, see, and I almost miss looking at that as well. That's why it would be nice to have had it. I don't see it in the parade, but I don't think it's there. So I'll keep the page open there. I mean, I suppose after time I'll start remembering. But I mean, I almost forgot it there again, didn't I? That's why you feel like it could do with being somewhere. Or even a reminder to check 10.54 when moving adjacent, so, you know. Okay. So I think we were about to move on to the next unit. Was it Unit 5? Yeah. I can't remember. He was... Yeah, so I can't remember. We checked 3, he was adjacent. We've done 4. We're moving on to 5, right, okay. Adjacent to Soviet unit. He's one closer to his nearest, yeah. Okay, so this one's 2 away, this one's 2 away, this one's 2 away, right. Now again, I'm looking at the preferences in the action step, but maybe I should be looking at maybe I should move straight to 10.54 then. Because if they take priority... Yeah, something's amiss here. Okay, a hex that would cause Soviet unit to become surrounded. Well, I can understand that one, yeah. We've already been through an action step that tried to surround though, so that's not going to happen. So B is a hex not adjacent to German unit, adjacent to the same Soviet unit, the one we're having issues with. I think they might all be out here. No, this hex could be. Now see, this one might make a bit more sense. Because I need to know where it can go to. Okay, this is quite an interesting one. Although I hadn't put this cube on first, right? But this makes more sense, this one. So he could move up to here. And we're looking at a hex, not adjacent to a German unit, adjacent to the same Soviet unit. Okay, so he's not. There's no German unit adjacent. Okay, and same here. There's no German unit adjacent to him that's adjacent to this Soviet unit. Now, this is good. Right, before I put the other cube, because then we move on to preference C, and it says an empty hex. And then we go, okay, bingo, that's where it goes, right? However, this hex should be part of the question too, because, well, I think it should be. Yeah, no, it is, sorry. Because when we're looking at this hex, we are not adjacent to a German unit adjacent to the same Soviet unit. Could be this Soviet unit, could be this Soviet unit. There's not a German unit adjacent to me. So yeah, that's fine. Well, that's actually good then, because these two are then counted out in the next preference of empty hex. So that one makes more sense, the way that worked out, but the other ones did not, in my opinion. So what were the preferences were adjacent to a Soviet unit, right, okay. Empty position hex. Well, none of them would have applied. Within 3 units the same core, yeah, closest to near, yeah. To be honest, they're all followed by that, so I'd still rather go over the action steps first and then just double check the 10.54, but I don't know. So this guy goes in here then. And is there any restrictions? Ooh, yeah, there could be. Stop. I think he's going to be in dangerous round, isn't he? If he moves to here, yeah, straightforward Grant, innit? 1, 2. Yeah, he's surroundable there, so that could then take things back then, because he could still go here or here. Yeah, he could. So what would the next preference be? An empty hex? Well, we can. A hex occupied solely by German units not attacking in this action. I hope this is not. I mean, this is to do with this, isn't it? Yeah, Martin must have seen some of this. He would have thrown me away from it and said, Grant, that's nothing to do with. I think that only comes into it. Yeah, clearly if I'm moving units adjacent right now to carry out an attack action, and there's some units already in there, like for instance, this guy in here isn't active, right? So if I was carrying out an attack action here and moving this guy in here, then that's where that would come in it, because that unit underneath is not going to be involved in the attack. So that doesn't really apply here, I don't think, that one. And then the next one's most movement points to reach. So that tends to send them round the back here again and into here, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. And, it doesn't break anything on the actual action. Yeah, I want to say that's what's going to happen then. He's going to use the most movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, and again, I don't believe any restrictions broken there. These aren't in dangerous round. It's not moved away from something that's been left in dangerous round. No. But let's get moving then. Let's get this finished and get it uploaded, and then you can all excuse me, tell me where I'm going wrong. So Unit 6 is already adjacent, so he's fine. Unit 9 is next. Yeah, there's still a bit to go, yeah, in that grab. So Unit 9 is next. His nearest 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2. So this is his nearest. Okay. That's fine. Now, well, we know he can't move there because he's going to be in dangerous surrounding there. I think that's the hex he would want to move into. So between these two, well, this is adjacent to a German unit, blah, 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 blah. And this one's not. Again, so he's going to go here. It feels strange. I don't know what this feels. I think so. Right, I'm just going to try and go for this one and see. So I think he's going to go 1, 2 into here. And he wasn't able to surround, no. And he's in a hex that's not adjacent to a German unit, adjacent to the same Soviet unit. Whereas if he'd been there, he would be. That's why he's in there. And then he would choose an empty hex. So yeah, I mean, that's it. That's his hex. Because he only had one target to look at. This was the one that was closest to him. The rest were all... yeah, the rest were all further away, so yeah, okay. So then Unit 10, oh that's good, these are adjacent anyway. So he checks first, he's already adjacent. The guy underneath checks, he's already adjacent. We already checked 6. So that's good. Now the guy under here, he's not an active unit, but this guy is, so I need to put him down the bottom, because this guy could still do something. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 units that could do something. However, no, we're not at the end of the line here. I think we are, aren't we? That was step 8, if not adjacent. Step 9's remove disperse markers, there's none. That is it. Okay, well there's something to get your teeth into, guys, because I don't know, some of that feels wrong. I want him on the top, don't I? Right. Some of it feels a bit strange, but it could be that it's meant to just work out that way, I suppose. It's possible. But we got some stuff done. No harm to us. This guy's locked in. We can still get in here to give this guy a supply line. And yeah, I think this stuff kind of worked. I think that was a good idea. Of course, we're going to be having to do that a lot, I think, in the turns coming up. But admittedly, this is all we're going to see from 1st Panzer Army for a bit. In fact, you know what? There's no more 1st Panzer Army units, apart from the dead stuff. So just stop killing it, Grant. Stop killing it. It won't come back. Yeah, okay. Right, this has been a long part now, not like the other ones. It's not too bad, because this is full, isn't it? I've not done anything else. I better get it uploaded, though, off the camera, or I'm just going to run out of space. Right, that's that impulse done. Oh, good. Right, so I'll be back. Well, we've only got 3 cards left. Oh, what's the order we're doing them in? That, I think. I think it was that, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll see. After that just happened, yeah, I think it's probably still going in that order. Or I might even take a chance and change it up a bit and maybe do the 40th, just in case. Because nothing else happened over that side, you know, nothing else interfered when we try to go for this guy, possibly. So yeah, it's possible I might switch these two about. We shall see. I'll be back soon. Cheers.